What's up, everybody? Almost Gosu here from Micro Factory Cluster Numero Uno. I was looking around today, trying to make some plans, and I thought, you know what? There's now a good amount of videos out there about trains, but there aren't a lot of builders guys out there about trains. There's a lot of videos about, can you make a roller coaster with a train? How steep can a train be? Can you run this thing through some crazy circles? And you see guys that are taking trains and doing like a button hook backwards, and it just whips right around. Well, that doesn't really answer any of my questions. The questions I want to answer: how do I plan for trains? How do I build trains? I've got all these factories that I'm interlinking between regions. What do I actually need to know between here and there, right? So first things first, I know things are going to change. A lot of the lower tier stuff that's in the game right now is stable. The upper tier stuff that we're working with right now that we've unlocked is not stable. So that said, it's going to change. I get it. Vertical clearance. You need 2.5 foundations. This will clear on 2.5 and not 3 foundations. But it's hard to say exactly what it's going to be because right now there's no clipping on trains. So when I come up on this guy, it goes right through him. So we don't know exactly what we're going to need, right? Trains need 1 foundation. 1 foundation spacing is enough to run a railroad. If you want to be able to take these and make a large station, I would say plan. This is probably safe to plan for, right? There's enough spacing on either side of these that you'll probably be comfortable enough working from that. If you want to make a big train depot, if that's what you're going for, you'll probably be okay. Alright, so that's vertical spacing and spacing for tracks. Splitting behavior. The devs expect us to split. When you merge 2 tracks together, you see these arrows that go down? These arrows wouldn't be here if the devs weren't expecting us to merge and split rails like this. So, because those are there, I'm banking on it that the developers are expecting us to make at least somewhat complex rail networks. And interconnect them with these switches. So, let me toggle this one again. When we toggle these switches, this has been super inconsistent throughout the day, so no promises. When we toggle these switches, our train should follow the direction that the arrow is set. See? That's what I'm talking about. It's been inconsistent. Alright, here, let's launch. Launch you, and we're going to do this. We're going to take away your option, and we're going to see what happens. There it goes. Bye, train. It's been fun. Alright, so now that that one's out of the way, it's probably going to loop back up through here in a second all crazy because that track goes around the back. Yep, there she is. Whoosh. Alright, I'm going to take that track off just so that we don't have that as a distraction. So, multiple resources, loading and unloading. Trains right now, the way that they're set up, the train will not start loading or unloading until the train actually pulls into the station. You see this little paddle right there? That's the train station. Until the train pulls into the train station and comes to a complete stop, these train docking stations will not start unloading. So we've got this set up right now. Concrete in the front, copper wire in the back, right? Watch, when the train stops, there goes the animation, both of them start unloading. We immediately pull our stacks, we top up. We have these looping back around up to the other side. Over here. Train's gonna come back in, same deal. Because the train stops at the train station, it gives you a fair amount of flexibility. The train's not bound to these train docking stations, right? The train stops the locomotive stops at the train station. So if you want if you only want to unload the back cargo wagon, you can take this train station, snap it to the belt, and move it way up here, right? Or you can come over here and you can pick up the train docking station. If you have a train that's got 2 locomotives and 40 cars on it, then and you only want to unload car 14 and 17, then all you have to do is put down your train docking station or your train station here, and then work your spacing backward, right? So you can handle out of each car, out of each wagon, right? You can put an individual. I would not recommend mixing resources in these. I think that would be a bad idea based on the queuing problems with smart splitters and having multiple items on a belt. So that's just me though. If you want to mix it up, go for it. All right, now we're gonna pick this up and we're gonna rebuild it so that you guys can see how to build a train station. So let's pick all these up, and we're gonna pick these up. All right, there's a couple ways to do this. Oh, there's probably more than a couple ways to do this. When you put this down, make sure that your train station is facing the direction that you actually want it to go. From there, I would place the locomotive. Go inside of your locomotive and set your train to go to the station that you want it to go to, because this should, oh man, it worked right before I tested this video. There's no backwards button. Here, let's try putting it further back and see if it works. So if we take this, put it here, so you're going to go to that station. Okay, so we were already there. This is important because it gives you the exact spacing for your train. So now you put a freight car, and then you're going to put down the train docking station. Just take the docking station, center this, you get the same kind of loading unloading block that you do for your truck station, right? Take this, put it right underneath the middle. This train docking station is just slightly more than one foundation wide. These need to be aligned to your trains. So if we take this, just for your own spacing considerations here, I'll get up on the high ground so you all can see it. Just for your own spacing considerations, you see how that let's get a little bit higher. There we go. See the right side of that. The right side of that is just on the foundation, and it goes just a little bit over the foundation width. So this is the way I would build my stations, starting from the railroad car, from your locomotive back, because I think it makes it so much easier to... We can snip this bad boy in there. Oh yeah, that's going to be fun. That's exactly how that's supposed to work. Just because it makes it easier to get your alignment correct. Taking this down here, what we are doing... Oh wow, that was impressive. Yeah, trains are not ready to be in the game yet. Oh, it looped around the other way. Wow, that was a U-turn. Oof. We are leaving, we're leaving 3.5 foundations, 3.5 vertical clearance for our trains, and we're not putting any train docking stations underneath. We're not actually leaving that there. I was showing that for spacing. The train docking station on 3.5 clips. This, the top of this crane clips through there. So were I you, I would leave at least, so this is 3 foundations high. I would go at least one more foundation over the top of this. And I have no concrete on me. Before you try to build anything, just to leave yourself kind of that safety margin. So we've covered spacing for tracks, vertical clearance, splitting behavior, how to handle multiple resources on one train route, right? Pathing. If you switch, I didn't cover auto path. If you switch this over, when this train makes its next loop, he'll switch that back. So let's keep going through the list. Building stations, placing locomotives and spacing for stations. So I just did this as a building test. I'm not actually keeping it in my core game. I needed to know for some of the stuff that we're planning, just general train behavior. What we were afraid of was that, you guys see that switch? What we were afraid of was that the trains were going to act like truck stations, where as soon as one of the cars got in proximity of the docking stations, that it was going to start unloading. But the behavior already exists in this early version of trains, for the stations to not unload as soon as a car gets near them and cross pollute when you have multiple things and multiple cars. So, good news. What else? If you like what you see, subscribe. I'm posting videos every day, every couple days. We're on Twitch every night from 9 to midnight. Come hang out, ask questions. Got a really good community building up there, so hopefully I will see you all soon. Thanks for stopping by.